Someone said the problem is we're not happy on either side. Yeah, that's a good point. I think that's a good. I always say to people on Twitter, I know a lot of people get mad at me on Twitter, but I'm like, just because we agree on politics and how to keep America safe, it doesn't mean I really enjoy your energy. You know, a lot of people are miserable. It's like, what's the point of being conservative and liking Trump if you're not happy and you spend all your time on Twitter like freaking out about stuff? And you know, the left is unhappy with America. They're unhappy with Trump. A lot of them are unhappy with themselves. You know, they're ungrateful and unappreciative. So I do think that's pretty true. I think a lot of people are happy. I'm pretty happy. But you know, I think a lot of the problem is people scapegoat their problems in politics. Like they think that if Donald Trump gets removed from office, they're going to prosper and thrive and be happy and love their life. But, you know, before Donald Trump, it was the ex-boyfriend or the ex-girlfriend. And there's some people who just scapegoat their problems. And there's some people who are conservative who think that, you know, rallying behind the flag and the president is going to make them happy. And it's, I mean, some people it would. I'm not. The problem on Twitter is that it's all text-based. And people are like, Anomaly, stop hating on me. Stop talking about me. I'm like, there's no context. There's no tone on Twitter. So when I say these things, people think I'm attacking all conservatives. I'm not saying that. There's millions of patriots who are great and I'm sure enjoy their lives. I meet a lot of people in person. I'm just saying there isn't, just because you support the president or you're conservative, it doesn't mean you're happy. It doesn't mean you're mentally healthy. It doesn't mean you're, you know, helping. You know, it's like some people just kind of ride the wave, and that's what we're going to talk about here. So before I get too far ahead of myself, so I want to talk a little bit about, I listened to Kamala Harris's, you know, announcement speech. She had a pretty big crowd. She's one of the people in the race. You got Tulsi Gabbard, Elizabeth Warren, maybe Bernie Sanders, maybe Hillary, maybe the Starbucks guy that nobody likes, or maybe some people like him. I don't know. I'm just making a joke. I've honestly not even heard him speak yet, but so I was like, let's see what's going on with Kamala, because I talked to some young people over the weekend, and they were like, hey, I like Kamala. You know, regardless whether conservatives want to admit it or not, people definitely like her. You know, she's got a little crowd there. I don't know how big or small. So I'm like, let's hear what she's talking about. And I'm listening to her, and I could see why she's doing well. You know, I'm not a hater, and I'm going to get into it a little later, too. I was talking about Kristen Sinema, who I'm not a fan of. Everyone was like, she's dressed like a skank. It's like, you guys wonder why the kids don't like you. It's like you're complaining about her clothes. You know what I'm saying? It's like, is that the big scoop, or is it the fact that she's like a communist-minded person? Is the cloth, like, is this the big scoop? If I wore a suit, would it change the content of my argument? No, clothes don't really matter that much. And I know people, it's probably going to be unpopular here. I don't care. You guys have been annoying me over the past 2 days. Not you personally, but people. I don't care that Trump says mean things. Like, that's the same thing as clothes. Like, they're like, Trump's dressed in a baseball outfit. Like, that, it doesn't matter. What's he doing? The clothes don't matter. The words don't matter. It's the actions. And I see the Republicans making the same mistakes. They're like, yeah, but it's different this time because I don't like her and I like him, and I really care about clothes. I'm like, you could do that if you want. If you think, you know, there's people getting enslaved, millions of people don't have access to healthcare, clean water in the world, and like, I'm not trying to virtue signal, but there's so many problems going on in America. We got homelessness, poverty, teachers on strike, and you think the big scoop is somebody's boots? Like, it sounds like a loser mentality to me. I'm sorry. When I'm with a woman, this is a little bit of a sidetrack, but it's been on my chest, so I wanted to get it out. Like, if I'm with a woman in person and she's making fun of another woman's clothing, I think to myself, I'm like, this girl really must not like herself. She must be really, you know, why else? Like, I've never looked at someone else's clothes and like had to make fun of them to feel good about myself. That would mean I didn't love myself. So I always think, I'm like, man, these people really must hate themselves, and they're trying to, you know, make themselves feel complete by making fun of someone else's clothing. And when it comes to Congress, the big scoop is not someone's clothes. I'm sorry. And it's just not going to help you with the youth. You could say, Anomaly, you're wrong. She dressed like a slut. Good luck losing the youth. This is why nobody likes conservatives. It's why, you know, like, tens of millions of kids are becoming communist, you know, groupthink, super radical Marxists. Is because no one connects with them. And then, you know, the first thing they see is you making fun of someone's outfit. Anyway, with Kamala Harris, it's the same thing. I don't like her ideology at all. But I see why she's getting popular. You know, she's somewhat attractive. Sorry, I didn't want to say she's the most, like, it's a lose-lose if I talk about that. But anyway, you know, somewhat attractive woman. I guess she's black, right? I mean, this is another situation where I watched the speech and she looks pretty light-skinned. Like, it looks like almost she has lighter skin than me. But I know she's black, so I don't want to Roseanne myself and lose all the sponsors and television shows I don't have already. So, you know, it's like, okay, she's black, she's a woman, she's kind of cool and hip, you know, talking stuff. And people are like, yeah, woman, you know, we got one on our side, she's a real one. So I called it a year ago that she was going to run for president because she fits the leftist mold. It's not about content of character or, like, you know, true success. It's a lot about race and gender. So what's better than a, you know, double minority? It's on what Dave Rubin calls the oppression Olympics, which is like, you know, your argument makes more sense based on the social structured oppressions that they've, like, I knew she would be a good candidate. But also, she taps into some things that people really care about. I heard she talked about the big banks and said the big banks are corrupt and I'm fighting the big banks. Whether you guys want to hear it or not, a lot of people feel that way. And I mean, I feel that way. I don't know that I trust Kamala Harris to solve the problems, but I think the whole banking industry is a scam. I think the Federal Reserve is highly suspect. I think that the housing crisis and debt crisis has been, like, manufactured. So, you know, I think the banking system's corrupt, and I don't hear any that, or at least besides maybe Rand Paul, I don't hear that many Republicans talking about it. So, you know, there's going to be tens of millions of kids and people who are like, yeah. Difference between me and, like, a leftist is I'm also very grateful for our society. While the bank system I do think is a scam, clearly we don't live in Venezuela. Clearly we don't live in, you know, some of the rougher parts of Africa. So it could be a lot worse. That's why I don't go that hard at the banks. Like, yeah, the Federal Reserve's a scam. The banks are scamming us, but, like, could be worse. You know, I'm not that mad. Life is pretty good in America overall, besides, you know, minor crises. So, you know, I'm a rational activist. Like, I'm not like burn the banks down, burn the rich down, and then you realize that, like, the society doesn't exist anymore, and we do need some sort of you know, control system to control us. Like, laws and law and order, I think, is important. I don't trust anarchy. I'm not a full-on anarchist. So, you know, she goes at the banks, although, like I said, I don't trust her to actually solve the problem. She's good at pointing it out, and that might appeal to some people. She did the race, gender. She said, like, the wage gap or whatever. She went into all, like, the leftist talking points. She said climate change is true, which is true. Climate's definitely changing, although I think it's debatable at what rate or which way. Anyway, I sat through a whole speech, so you don't have to. And I'm not the biggest fan, but here's the thing. First, I want to talk about, we'll get into it. I already know people are leaving. Anytime I tell the truth to conservatives that they don't want to hear, I get very unpopular on my live streams. I mean, I still have a lot of people here, but I've noticed that when I tell the truth to conservatives and Republicans, when it doesn't go in their favor, they don't want to hear it. But some of this stuff, like, I'm no Jordan Peterson, But, you know, some of the stuff is just basic psychology and philosophy and human nature, and denying it is not going to help you. You could turn off my stream or stop following me, or I'll block you or something. But it's not going to change the truth. Like, you can lie to yourself if you want, but it doesn't matter if it's Trump or Kristen Sinema or Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez or Kamala Harris. Like, you're not going to fight reality. And if you're marketing and promoting somebody that you don't like, and then you can't figure out why they keep getting bigger, but you're, you know, talking about materialistic things about them instead of the content of their character and argument, just because you have an R next to your name instead of a D, I don't think you're above reality, although some people think they are. But the real reason I wanted to talk about Kamala and you know, Hillary, Elizabeth Warren, Bernie, it's going to be interesting to see who comes out of that circus, because the left, we found out last year that Hillary, I don't even like to talk about her. There's so much dark energy around her whole aura. Like, this is probably the first time in months, if not years, that you've heard me talk about Hillary. I block people out for the most part. I'm going to drop a gem today, and then I'm going to leave it alone. But I don't like to talk about people I don't like, and I don't like to talk about really bad, dark people at all. But we found out last year during the Bernie thing that Hillary basically bought out the DNC, and, you know, they were in debt. She helped pay off their debt. Point being, the left is extremely corrupt, and with the super delegates who are, if If you guys don't know who superdelegates are, Bernie was at a disadvantage from the beginning because there's 600 to 700 elected officials or something, or unelected, I don't even know who they are. They're superdelegates who get to vote for whoever they want. So it's a race to 2,000 delegates, but 700 of them are already sold out to Hillary Clinton, or 600. The whole thing's rigged. They spend so much time hating on Republicans that people don't realize how rigged Democratic media is and how rigged the Democratic Party is. It's really bad. So the reason I'm saying that is it's going to be funny to just watch that circus from afar. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to get my popcorn out because I really don't care who wins. I can't say I have a real preference. I'm going to get into that in a second. But, you know, will Hillary win if she runs again because she'll rig and cheat the entire thing and kick everyone else out? Who knows? Will Kamala Harris win because she's younger and hipper and maybe a little bit more authentic? Like, I don't think she's that authentic per se, but when I'm listening to her, I could see why she's gaining momentum. I mean, I always use the analogy of Trump, and people on the left don't want to hear it because it's true and it doesn't go in their favor, but Trump won because everybody else was super, super pathetic, and Trump is a huge standout in a sea of clowns. Kamala Harris, same way. I don't think she's not as big as Trump for me, but she's better than a lot of the other people. Like, you know, I listen to a lot of the, like, you listen to like Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer talk, like it's legitimately frightening. You know what I'm saying? Like that, it was like the Newman thing, or like with the farmer thing. It was like Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi. Like I was like disgusted and repulsed just like listening to them speak for 5 minutes. I was like, these people are psychopaths. So it's like when you got Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi leading your party, and you just had Hillary Clinton run for the election. Kamala Harris looks like Tupac Shakur to the kids. You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh my God, we finally got one. Like, it's easy to look good in that circus. That's why Trump won, and that's why Kamala Harris will do well. Elizabeth Warren's like, oh, didn't see you there. Oh, whoa. Is this thing on? Oh, hey guys, oh, what are you doing here? Oh, it's my husband. Hey. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here. Oh, there's a beer. I gotta go to my fridge. Hold on, I gotta get a beer. I drink beer just like you. I'm a working class lady, huh? Free healthcare for all, huh? It's like when that's your competition, it's not a surprise that Kamala Harris is gonna do very well. But man. So it's like, it's going to be such a funny circus. I got more to say in a second, but I'm just enjoying myself now. You got Hillary Clinton, who's probably going to cheat the thing because she's got a lot of old power. You got Kamala Harris, who's really not that cool or honest, but she's definitely a little bit cooler and more honest than these other people. You got Elizabeth Warren, who pretends to be Native American when she's like 0.1%, and she acts surprised when her husband's in her house. You got Bernie Sanders, the 77-year-old socialist communist who took $180 million. He raised $180 million to fight the establishment. I'm going to fight the establishment. It's corrupt. Hillary Clinton. He took $100 million. He bought a beach house. And then he's like, if anybody that supported me didn't vote for Hillary Clinton, they must have been brainwashed by the Russians. It's like, oh my God. Talk about a total loser. And I supported the guy. I had my song Bernie Sanders Trap Anthem. I know a lot of progressives, they still love me because I made them the best song that they have on their side. Maybe not. Maybe it's not the best. Oh, no, you're so cocky. Yeah, maybe it's not the best song. Okay, I lied. I'm sure there's some creepy communist song that's better. But I was getting a lot of streams on my song. I took it off Spotify. It had like hundreds of thousands of streams because that's how much I dislike Bernie Sanders. He's such a total phony. Like, his socialism is one thing, but I was like, at least be anti-establishment. I could at least respect, like, a Glenn Greenwald or something, but Bernie's just such a two-faced con man. It's like, dude, not only are you super old now, but you already blew it, man. Like, his movement's never going to be the same. He still has a lot of support, for sure, but it's never going to be what it was at all. And so it's like, you got Bernie, you got Kamala Harris, you got Hillary Clinton, you got probably the best candidate on the left, or I would say definitely the best candidate on the left, is Tulsi Gabbard. She's definitely the most honest. I would say she's the most attractive physically. Not that it matters, but low-key kind of does. I mean, people are not the brightest. I mean, look at the pop stars that people follow around and musicians. pretty brainwashed out here. So, you know, she's attractive, she's young, she's cool, and she's actually like pretty more authentic than Kamala Harris. Like Kamala Harris is kind of like in the Obama zone. Like she's like, hey, I'm playing basketball, dog. You know, but I feel like Tulsi's a little bit more authentic, and I find her a little bit more honorable. But because she's actually probably the best, she'll probably get cheated the hardest, and the news hates her. They're trying to call her anti-gay because she told the truth 12 years ago. Now she's got to lie about it because you can't tell the truth on the left anymore. So it's going to be a circus. It's going to be interesting to see who wins. I think Kamala Harris has a good shot. Hillary might cheat. Tulsi Gabbard might do well. For sure, the biggest threat to Trump is Kamala Harris or Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard or Kamala Harris will be tough. And I want to get into some other things too, but here's what a lot of Trump supporters don't understand. Now I'm going to lose a lot of streamers. I'm sure it's going to go down to like 800 or something, because anytime I tell the truth, like, just give you guys an example. I had some guy who's like, I blocked him. Sorry, my man, if you're watching this. I blocked him on Twitter. He's like conspiracy realist or something. He's like a QAnon, like I'm a Trump guy. Like he's on my side. You know what I'm saying? He's a right-wing guy, or at least a Trump guy or whatever. But I said basically, I was like, if you don't even, here's my tweet. I said, if you don't take care of yourself, you shouldn't be able to dictate where the money goes. Like you shouldn't be able to steal money from other Americans if you don't even take care of yourself. Like the reason I'm saying that is because if they pass universal health care, you're now stealing $5,000, $6,000, $8,000, $10,000 a year from me to pay for other people's health. Some people have illnesses that they can't control. I'm very compassionate to that. But there's also millions of people who don't take care of themselves at all. They don't do anything. They don't shower. They don't eat healthy. They don't exercise. So if my money goes to that, I get to dictate what they do. I think that's fair. Okay, you got to get up and go for a hike because I'm not paying for your heart problems that you have because you don't take care of yourself. Point being, I just said a basic tweet of self-accountability. And this guy's like, oh man, don't blame us. Why are you hating on the people? And this is supposed to be a right-wing conservative guy on my side. And he's taking it all personally it's like, dude, does self-accountability bother you that much? My anti-communist tweet, it was literally an anti-communism tweet. He's like, hey man, what about the Nazis, man? There's the holdover from the Nazis. Yeah, I've talked about that. Operation Paperclip, for sure. 1,600 Nazis went right into the federal government in the 1900s. Very sketchy stuff. I'm not talking about that. I've talked about it more than anyone else, and because I actually have a following, it's more effective when I say it than when you yell at me and no one listens to you. But it's like, point I'm saying is like, when I say these things, for some reason, I'm getting yelled at by a bunch of conservatives. It's like people want to lie. Oh, how dare you tell me that I have to be self-accountable? I'm a conservative. I just pretend to be self-responsible. But when you actually make me do it, then I get all frustrated because I like Trump, so I could never. It's like, dude, this is the same root level psychology that tanked the Democratic Party. And it's like I'm watching in slow. Yeah, but she's dressed like a hooker. Okay. So it's just like pathetic, man. Like, you know, it's the same psychology. Of course, it's not the same exact issue. It's the same psychology of someone who doesn't like all the good things that Trump's doing because they don't like the way he presents himself vocally sometimes. Even though they know what he's saying is true, it's like the cloth doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I wear. I get it. It's Congress. You think people like liars in suits? People are tired of liars in suits. People are tired of liar women in nice clothes. The clothes don't matter. America doesn't care what Kristen Sinema dresses like. America doesn't care what Donald Trump speaks like. They want something done. So when you spend all your energy saying, oh, well, she's dressed like a hooker, well, now any feminist, obviously they already hate you. The whole youth, if I'm 19 or 18 and I log on to Twitter and I see, you know, a 50-year-old saying, oh, she's dressed like a hooker, you sound like the teacher that no one likes. It says, oh, it's against the dress code. Like, no one likes you. This is why no young people like you. And I'm letting you guys know now so you don't make the same mistakes that the Democrats did in a different way. It's like, no one cares how Congress dresses. I get that you care, but that's why we're a society who lies to ourselves. We've become accustomed, on the left and the right, to the pretty little lie, the well-wrapped-up lie. If Jake Tapper and whatever, like Anderson Cooper wear a suit, you think that they're the authority. If someone goes to Congress and steals your money, works with Chinese spies, sells the country out, and enslaves Africans, you'll be like, well, at least they're dressed properly. Oh, they're not dressed like Kristen Cinema. It's like, who the F cares? Come on, no one cares. People are tired of politicians. People are tired of dress codes, and that's why you're watching me. I have a robe on. I bought it on Amazon. Sorry, I just gave Jeff Bezos more money for his wife. I bought it on Amazon for $20. You're not here because of how I'm dressed. Some people say shave, Anomaly. I actually enjoy it. I think it's funny when my facial hair looks all out of whack, and you still watch. It just proves to you that your facial hair doesn't matter. Some guy could have a goatee. He could have a girlfriend and, have a perfect little goatee that he spent an hour on, but no one cares what he has to say because he has no value when he speaks. So I'm a lesson. I'm a walking lesson to you that clothes don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Physical features and aspects don't always matter. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. And if you don't understand that people don't care about that stuff that much, it's the same reason that people like Trump. They don't like him because he's, the Booker T. Washington MLK of speeches. They like him because he just does it and says it. And it's like the right has an obsession with making their worst enemies more famous. It's like they hate Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, but they've made her into a superstar. They can't stop talking about her. I'm a reference Owen Benjamin. He makes fun of Ben Shapiro. It's funny to me. Sorry, I know there's gonna be Ben Shapiro fans now that are like, can't take a joke, but it's like, really, really, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, really. It's what Owen always says on his streams. It's hilarious, but it's true. It's like, regardless of what you think of Ben, it's like Ben's the #1 promotion tool of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and all the Republicans. It's like, you're doing the same things the Democrats did to get Trump elected. How did they get him elected? They complained about things that he did that didn't matter, like dressing or words. They got way too cocky, way too confident and cocky. They thought they were above self-accountability, self-responsibility. They didn't connect with people that they desperately needed to connect with. They, sat in an echo chamber of people who agreed with them, even though their strategy wasn't really a winning one. And then they lost to Trump. These are the same root level issues that I'm seeing on the right now, where it's like, dude, this is why. Like, how did Hillary Clinton lose the election? She had the tech companies. She had all the establishment power, from the Bushes to the Clintons to the Obamas. She had every power structure on her side. But just like Rome, she fell. Why? Too cocky, overly confident, not authentic, worrying about things that didn't matter, lost. You could lose at any time, and it's how people lose all the time. And on the right, Trump is doing well, but here's a lot of things. I'm already down to 857. I never lose this much, only when I tell the truth to conservatives, and I love it. I enjoy it thoroughly. And I like on here I can actually explain myself rather than text-based. Someone's like, so what you're saying is that you're supporting fluoride in the water. No, I'd never said, what are you talking? Like, that's why I can't stand Twitter. People just skew everything. It was like some Pakistani American, even progressive journalist. So what you're saying is you hate all people that are liberal. No, that's what you said. I didn't say that. I said this, and you said, people just can't get a grip. But a big reason that Trump won, we could talk about all the great things that he does. I know that's what people want to hear. Trump's great. He's building jobs. He's stopping wars. I do this stuff all the time. This is a different day. I've been highly complimentary of Trump. I've probably one of the more loyal people, but I don't do it because I'm a shill. I do it because he's right about a lot of things, almost everything. But a real reason that Trump won, that no Trump supporters want to admit, is because the Democrats ran Hillary Clinton. She's probably the worst candidate in modern history. I mean, her campaign was one of the biggest fails in modern history. She spent the most money. She spent the least amount of time actually talking about issues rather than attacking. Like, you look at the statistics, just the financial and psychological statistics that are like facts now. As far as all of the issues that she spent her time talking about, she ran the worst campaign in modern history. She is like the biggest fail of the modern era on the Democratic side, but she's doing well as well. I'm sure she's done some good things in her life. Point being, Trump probably would have lost to Kamala Harris. Trump probably would have lost to Bernie Sanders. And I know a lot of people that like Trump want to say, Anomaly, no way Trump would have beat him. Maybe. I'm not here to doubt you. Think of me as your coach, and liberals should think of me like this too, but a lot of people are so far gone that they're just like afraid of any sort of truth. Think of me as your coach or your teammate. If I'm your coach at halftime, I don't tell you, hey guys, don't even go out there and play that second half. You're going to win regardless of what happens. Like, that's not why the Patriots are in the Super Bowl. That's not why the Rams are in the Super Bowl. That's not why the Golden State Warriors are good. If you listen to athletes, every game they say, we have to treat this like it's the only game on the schedule. We're not worried about tomorrow. We're not bragging about our Super Bowl last year. We need to win this year. That's what you do if you're a winner. And if you're on the Trump side, you're supposed to be winners, not losers. And I'm not saying you're, and the Anomaly's calling us, I'm not saying you're a loser. I'm just saying there's a winning strategy and a losing strategy. And Trump supporters are getting way too arrogant and cocky, and they're making the same mistakes the Democrats made. And I'm telling you now, just from a statistic standpoint, Trump won because Hillary's so awful. Maybe they'll make the same mistake again. I wouldn't put the Democrats past it. They're absolute goofballs. But maybe they won't. Maybe they'll pick a Kamala Harris and a Tulsi Gabbard, and then you're going to have to learn the election. And I'll tell you another thing that's not going in your favor that no one wants to talk about. The tech companies were all in cahoots with Hillary Clinton, from Facebook to Google to YouTube to Twitter. Nobody wanted Donald Trump to win, okay? They worked pretty hard, not hard enough, to get Donald Trump not to win. They're not going to give it to you this easy. Since that time, you've seen Congress smack down at Facebook. You've seen Twitter, YouTube, Google. They're rigging further and further and further. They're going to make sure that there's no possible statistic way that they lose this election. And I have some good news and some bad news for you. The bad news is they have ridiculous amounts of data on you to the point where they can pinpoint something that you want to buy in a week that you probably don't even know you want to buy yet. Like, they have ridiculous amounts of data on billions of people, on the entire country, honestly. They're going to use that to their advantage every which way, and they didn't push it hard enough last time. They're pushing further. So statistically and just like digitally, I'm not being a downer. I'm just telling you like a teammate. It's going to be near impossible for Trump to win unless they literally like do the same exact mistakes and blow it. They're going to get young people to vote by the millions. One of the reasons that Republicans lost the House is because I do think they cheated a little bit for sure, but a lot of young people came out to vote. Why did young people come out to vote for the first time ever? Why was it the biggest young voter turnout? Because Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook, Google have billions of probably trillions of dollars worth of data on you that's invaluable when it comes to making people do things. Like if I'm Facebook or Twitter or Google, I could probably make you, or at least a good portion of people, if not you, buy something. It's why people run ads. You run this many ads, you're going to get this many sales. You run this many ads, you're going to get this many sales. They own the whole website. And and I was warning people for months, like, you better go vote, because Snapchat and Twitter and Google and YouTube that all the kids use and adults use, they were making sure everybody registered. They were running billions of dollars worth of free ads saying, register, 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 register. It's just basic mathematics. Like, yeah, they're going to get 10 million new voters or 20 million new voters, and it's going to happen. And most of those new voters are not going to vote for Trump. They're just not. Some of them will, but a lot of them won't, because the youth always has been more leftist, probably because when you're young, you're not as wise, but also because the Republicans do a horrible job of reaching out to the youth. And I try to tell people how to do it, and they're like, no, I just want to sit here and agree with people my age about how they shouldn't wear those things to Congress because it makes me feel bad, because I think the big scoop about Congress is what they're wearing, because it really, really matters to me. Like, that's fine. You could make your argument about how much it matters to you. But the truth is, it doesn't matter to any young people. Maybe like 1% of young people will agree with you. 99% will disagree, and probably 90% will not only disagree with you, but be so repulsed by your behavior that they're going to go Democrat. Because you got Kamala Harris saying, hey, we're going to give health care to everybody. We're gonna fight the banks. And you got Trump saying build a wall, and you have conservative pundits saying she dressed like a hooker. Obviously, I'm gonna vote for Kamala Harris if I'm 19, and I'm not saying everybody's like that, but you're not gonna win if you keep losing mistakes. And then I lose followers and I block people, and I don't care. I'm not struggling, and I don't want people that, don't get that. I mean, I appreciate everyone for sure. I want people to listen, but at a certain point, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. And the tech companies are in overdrive, registering. You think it was bad during 2016 election. It's going to be 1984-esque, and trust me, they're going to get young people to vote. And trust me, nobody's doing a good job of reaching out to the young voters. And there's a way to do it. The saddest part about all this is people get mad at me. There actually is a way to reach out to young voters. Like, there's a way to make conservatism cool. There's a way to make the Republican Party cool. There's a way to tap into the youth. It's just no one wants to do it. And if you tell them how to do it, they say, no, we're right. And you're like, oh, okay, I guess, if that's what you think. And then you got people like Paul Joseph Watson and Tim Pool. No disrespect. I promote them and support them all the time. I like both of them a lot. But they're telling conservatives that Gen Z is going to be really conservative, that we won the future already. And it's not true. I'm sorry. It's just not. The youth is more brainwashed than ever. You can't walk into a bookstore without propaganda. Mary Poppins, propaganda. Every single television, Black Panther, propaganda. They're propagandizing kids on a level that we've never seen before. There's no way that the youth is just magically going to pop out conservative. Yeah, I want to build a wall. Like, it's not true. They're lying to you. I don't know. Maybe they watched they read one article, and read one poll and saw that TikTok is a new app that's really conservative when it's not. Like, I don't know why they're telling people that we won the future, because we didn't. And it's a losing strategy to think you won something that didn't even happen yet. Like, it's just so dumb to me. And the youth is not voting Republican. There's more credible statistics and better research statistics that show over time, how people are feeling. And the Democrats are just scooping up people left and right. I mean, I've met one or two out of like thousands of people in that age bracket that actually support conservatives. And they're like, and I asked them, how many people at school are like you? No one. I have a younger brother. How many people like Trump? Nobody likes Trump. Nobody. Because they're brainwashing the kids. It's impossible to even feel that way unless you have good parents or, maybe watch a YouTube channel. The reason I'm saying all this is not to be mean or pessimistic. I'm very optimistic. I think Trump will do very well. But here's the reason I'm saying this. A lot of people are just riding Trump's coattails, and they're riding the Trump train, and that's fine. If you're just a civilian and you watch, but there's a lot of influencers. I'm saying this to the people who really want to help, because you're allowed to just have fun and make fun of people and, vote. Like, you don't have to take the whole weight of the world on your shoulders. But I'm saying this to the people who do. They think that they're going to, have a huge impact on the culture or society, but they're not listening. I'm saying this stuff because Trump is doing a lot. Trump is an amazing candidate. He's doing like the unthinkable and the unfathomable. So the nicest thing you could do if you really like Trump is help him out a little bit. Like, he needs help. He doesn't need people to ride his coattails and get cocky and confident and think that they're going to have an election in the bag that they don't have in the bag. I mean, it's a miracle that Trump won. And the biggest reason, besides the fact, yes, him, he probably could have done well against anyone. The media promoted him nonstop, and they ran the worst candidate ever. Like, if you have somebody that can hang a little bit, if you get a Kamala Harris or a Tulsi Gabbard, it's going to be a hard battle. He's doing better than ever, but I'm warning people, and I feel like it's deja vu when I wanted to see Bernie beat Hillary, because I really didn't like Hillary, and I saw the way the Democratic Party's acting, and I saw the same root level mistakes, and I was like, you guys are going to lose the election to Trump. Like, you're going to blow this. Like, Trump won for sure, but the Democrats lost just as much. They were on the 1 yard line. It's nearly impossible to lose an election when you have Twitter, Facebook, Google, YouTube, Snapchat all on your side. It's nearly impossible. We've never witnessed something as powerful as Google, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Snapchat. Like, these are powerful digital tools, combined, merging with artificial intelligent algorithms. Like, it's otherworldly, like unhuman type intelligence that's like unfathomably powerful. And they have so much information on you that it's like a wet dream of any sort of dictator or communist, like fascist leader. And they all hate us. They all hate you. They all hate Trump. And it's not a great uphill battle to have, and we could win it for sure. I'm not a loser. I'm not trying to lose, but the winning strategy is acknowledging these mistakes, trying to reach out to the youth, starting to, not harp on things that don't matter so much, not to propel. Once again, I'm going at all the unpopular things. I might as well. I don't have a problem personally with Ann Coulter or Tomi Lahren. I've met Tomi once. I've watched her speak, and I thought she was more impressive than I thought she was. Ann Coulter spoke at the Brexit event, and it was whatever. I'm not going to lie. I'm not like the biggest fan of Ann Coulter. She's okay. And I'm not a hater. She's great. She's successful and rich and probably doesn't care what I think or anyone thinks. That's why she's Ann Coulter. But, like, Ann Coulter and Tomi Lahren are perfect for the Democratic Party. Like, they're the perfect look at our competition. Do you want to be like that? And to be honest, like most young kids are like, no, I don't want Ann Coulter on my side. No, Tomi Lahren's mean. I don't want her on my side. And I'm not saying this to be mean. I'm just being honest. It's like we don't have that many likable people on the right, and I see why. So it's like they propel people like that, and they're only satisfying the echo chamber. You know what I'm saying? Ann Coulter can do a speech at Brexit. People will clap because it's all Republicans and conservatives, and that's fine. Like I said, you don't have to reach out to the other side if you don't want, but you better believe that Trump wants to. Trump wants to win the election. You win the election by getting voters. You get voters by connecting with people that, other candidates don't connect with. Very simple. And a lot of people don't do that. And when I take the steps to do that, not always. First of all, I want to, because like I get misconstrued when I do stuff like this. Overwhelmingly, it's been amazing. I've met like 20 people just in the last 3 days. Came up to me, said hi, took pictures. It's getting crazy, and I'm very grateful. Very good people. 95% of people here are amazing and never bother me at all. Like, I love you guys. It's hundreds of thousands of people. But the reason I say this is because there is a big chunk of the right wing and the Republican Party, or whatever you want to call it, the new movement, that doesn't want to do the right thing, and they want to drag me down when I do the right thing, and they want to argue and complain and yell and act like it's so bad, and also drag themselves down. And I just don't see it as a winning strategy. And the youth, and also there's a lot of people on the fence that say to me, I'll tell you an example. I was at a party and my friend came up to me and said, Anomaly, I love your videos. Well, he knows me from rap music, but he said, I agree with a lot of the stuff you say. And he also said he likes Flecka's, my friend Flecka's Talks, if you guys know him. He said, I like Flecka's because, Flecka's is just hilarious and his videos are funny. Like SJW, like social justice Marxists are like totally insane, and he thinks it's hilarious. But what he said to me was like, Trump's a psychopath, right? And I was like, no, he's not. Like, and I debated my side of it, but he doesn't actually like Trump. He likes me and Flecka's. Why does he like me and Flecka's? He likes me because I'm not like other Republicans and conservatives. He likes he likes Flecka's because Flecka's videos are funny and everybody likes comedy. You see what I'm saying? Not everyone cares about the economy. Not everyone cares about jobs. Not everyone cares about wars. Everyone cares about something else, but everyone loves comedy. Everyone loves the truth if as long as they're like at the bottom of their soul, I'm sure they like being lied to a little bit, but at the core of it, I don't think anyone likes being lied to. So Trump is Trump. It's great, but Trump needs more help. Like, Ann Coulter is not red-pilling very many people. Tomi Lahren is not red-pilling very many people. I'm red-pilling a lot of people. Flecka's is red-pilling people. This is the type of mentality. Candace did a number on the black community. It's like because there's hasn't been anybody young and black to do what she was doing. So, her appearance alone, was a mind shock to the world. And, it did what it needed to do. Ben Shapiro red pills people sometimes because even though I don't agree with him on a lot, really, like Owen Benjamin says, really, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, really. So it's a funny impression. You guys gotta check out Owen. But I'm sorry, Ben. I don't agree with a lot of things he says, but he red pills a lot of people because he's like such a never Trumper, and he's like he'll disagree with Trump a lot, which is fine. But it makes liberals like him a little more. Joe Rogan red pills a lot of people. A lot of people nowadays don't like Joe. He's a shill, this and that. You could think what you want about Joe. You don't have to like him personally. You don't have to like his show. But to say that Joe's not red pilling millions of people is a lie. I just don't agree with it. Joe is very well loved among liberals. You know what I'm saying? Progressives, liberals, everybody listens to Joe Rogan on all sides of the political spectrum, apolitical people. And Joe Rogan brings a lot of right-wing people on. And Joe Rogan, although he has a lot of moments I don't agree with, he has a lot of right-wing ideology. He loves America. He believes in self-accountability. He can't stand social justice warriors. He believes in free speech. He, you know, like, Joe's on the winning side. Like, whether people like him personally or not, I don't agree with, you know, and there's a lot of people on both sides who say this, but it's like, I get it. Like, Joe's not the be all end all, but I think it's just wrong to think that he hasn't helped millions of people. Like, that, you know, and sometimes it takes that. Like, people are like, why? The point I'm saying is, we need more people doing their thing. You don't have to be like Jordan Peterson or Joe Rogan. Jordan Peterson's another one. A lot of people hate on him too. But, dude, all of my liberal friends are finally not communists anymore because of Jordan Peterson. I kid you not. Like, my friend 2 years ago, who was probably more progressive Marxist, is like anti-communism now because of Jordan Peterson. He's still a progressive. You know, he believes in universal health care, but he's like, you know, groupthink doesn't work. We got to treat people as individuals, and even if you level the playing field, it doesn't work. I even got my progressive friend to say that Venezuela tanked because of socialism. He said, oh, they went too far left. This is amazing. This is somebody 2 years ago that probably never would have admitted that due to Jordan Peterson, because he's apolitical most of the time, and he just talks about psychology. Like, people are like, Jordan Peterson's a shill, Joe Rogan's a bad guy. I know, you know, my man Owen thinks that, and he knows, he has personal reasons and stuff, and that's all love. I still love and appreciate Owen, but my take on it's a little different. Like, I'm not saying I personally, I like Owen better than Joe and Jordan as a person, but, you know, and he's had a great effect, but I just don't think that Peterson is just like leading people in the wrong direction. I don't see any evidence to that, and I don't know what benefit there would be to like red pilling people, making them anti-communist, making them realize that socialism's a scam, making tens of millions of people feel that way and be like, now we're going to trick you. Like, I get that it's possible to do that, but if they're going to mislead people, they're not going to do it by, you know, red pilling millions of people into realizing that self-accountability is like the most important thing, which is true. It is the first step to anything. Anyway, people have to do their thing. We need our Owen Benjamins. We need our Rogans. We need our Petersons. We need our Shapiros. We need our Mees. We need our Fleckas. I guess we need our Ann Coulters and Tommy Laurens. You know, someone's got to be them. But, like, they're always up there. And, like, everybody just rides the same train a lot of times. Like, let's kick Farrakhan off Twitter. Let's talk about her shoes. Oh, my goodness, she's doing this. Like, it's like, and then everyone jumps on the bandwagon. Then I'm like, guys, I don't even like this lady, but, like, that's kind of a goofy thing to, like, harp on. You're promoting her. To be honest, I think she actually looked good. You know, you're giving her free airtime. You're repelling the youth. You're looking foolish. You're attacking somebody's appearance instead of actually attacking their argument. You're doing everything that you hate when they do to Trump, but you think it's okay to do because you justify it for yourself when it's, like, it's stuff like that just doesn't help. And it's like, you know, I think Trump's going to do very well. I think millions of people have woken up. It's a beautiful time to be alive. I know personally there's just so many ex-Democrats who have gone, you know, more conservative or libertarian or Trumpian or whatever, and they're never going to go back. So I'm not saying this stream to make people feel down or pessimistic or feel like it's out. I'm saying this because a true friend and a true coach, you know, or a true teammate doesn't just tell you all the things that you're doing great and tell you don't play second half. That's how you lose to a worse team. That's how the Democrats lost. And I feel like that seems to be the status quo on the right now, that it's going to be easy. There's ballot harvesting in California that nobody's doing anything about. You know, look what Brenda Snipes did in Florida. I mean, you know, you say there's voter fraud in Arizona and such, and I don't know that I disagree with that. But if it is true, did anyone do anything about it? No. Then why is it going to stop? Well, it's not. I think Texas arrested some illegal voters. Good job, Texas. They actually did something about it. The other states, they're not doing anything. So it's not going to end. You know, Twitter and Google and Facebook, they're not leveling the playing field. They're rigging it further, and they're going to go harder than ever. So it's going to be an uphill battle. That's just my thoughts on the Kamala Harris speech. I see why people like her. I'm not a big fan of anybody on the Democratic Party, but it's going to be interesting to see who wins out of that circus. And then once they win, it's going to be interesting to see how people respond, because it's not over till it's over, and every day matters, every moment matters. There's going to be big viral events. There's going to be probably staged events, to be honest, staged ridiculous events where everyone freaks out for 4 days. It's going to go back and forth, and there's going to be polls and this, like, it's not a give or take. It's going to be a tough election, and I'm of the mind, I don't know for sure. Some people, like, I always tell people, like, I want to get involved in politics. I was like, don't do it. Just enjoy your life, don't even worry about it. But if you do want to, like, a lot of people are like, yeah, I'm doing this and that. If you do, you really got to think about this stuff, because Trump needs all the help he can get. The Republican conservative side needs all the help they can get. And, like, when I say, and once again, it's not everybody, but when I say certain things on Twitter that aren't even that crazy, like, I'll say certain things and I'll see the insane backlash I get. Although it doesn't bother me that much, but it just makes me realize, I'm like, whoa, this is why conservatives are losing in all these departments. Like, it's not just because, like, liberals are corrupt for sure, but also they created tech companies that were successful business-wise, They created media companies that were successful business-wise. They somehow own all the television stations. Like, they got to that position, Like, at a certain point, that could have been conservatives, but one way or another, whether they got brainwashed or manipulated or whatever, they own those companies. Like, conservatives don't run Twitter. Conservatives don't run Google. Conservatives don't run Snapchat. Conservatives don't run the television. Conservatives don't run the movie industry. Conservatives don't run the youth. Conservatives don't run the music industry. So, like, conservatives are losing in all of those very influential industries, especially influential in the youth. And I can see why, and that bothers Republicans and conservatives. And when I say I could see why, I'll get attacked by a QAnoner who will say, how dare you? We're not the ones putting the fluoride in the water. How dare you say that I'm responsible for something? We're not putting the fluoride in the water. I didn't say we put the fluoride in the water. I'm not, just because I talk about one thing doesn't mean I'm the bankers and the politicians are not to blame. I'm not blaming the people and saying, oh, they're perfect, it's not there. But they get there because we let them get there. So yeah, maybe I am spreading a little bit of blame to the collective consciousness, because they don't get to those positions unless we're okay with it. We don't allow them to own all the industries unless we let them have it. And it's not hard for me to see why conservatives lose at all this stuff, because they're not good at it. They're not making good music. They're not making good apps. They're not, they didn't create Google. They didn't create Apple. They didn't, they don't, Fox News is doing okay. And One American News Network, like, that's a good move. He made his own television station. Like, no one's really doing that. Most people are not doing that. So I don't blame liberal. Like, it's like, self-accountability is not just a name tag to wear around, and then it's like, blame liberals for everything. It's like, not really. Like, yeah, they're doing a lot of weird stuff, but, like, why are they doing it? How did they get there? You're not helping. You're not making them learn the truth. You're not creating an industry that's better than theirs. They own it because conservatives spend their energy making fun of the boots of attractive congresswoman. Like, that's how you lose Apple. That's how you lose Google. When you spend all your energy promoting Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. So who's the Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez of the right wing? We don't have one. The closest thing is Dan Crenshaw, and I don't agree with him on foreign policy at all. But he seems kind of cool. But, like, he's not even that young as Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Me and her actually share the same birthday. We're the same age, same birthday. But we don't have someone like that, because Republicans just talk too much and they don't do anything. And then it's like, when it comes to actually defend your own people and, like, actually stand for something, sometimes they do, but sometimes they don't. Where it's like, I'm not saying this stuff to make people feel bad, or I'm just being honest. It's like, I go out to conventions, I talk to people, I connect with people on the left and the right, and certain things I say, the right doesn't want to hear, and I'm like, well, it's not a surprise. Like, why are my kids so brainwashed? Well, you don't run the music industry, you don't run the television industry, you don't run the education system anymore. You don't do any of this stuff. You're not fighting back. You're not doing anything about it. You're not supporting good people who do it. And when someone comes along like myself, who actually can and does connect to the youth, people say, Anomaly, how does the rap industry treat you? They treat me great. You know, no one bothers me because I don't act like Ann Coulter or Tommy Lauren. They don't like Ann Coulter or Tommy Lauren. And I would say rightfully so. You know, they're not very likable people if you're left wing. Like, people think the music industry must treat me terrible. I mean, I've been blacklisted since the beginning because I always talked about the Iraq War and sampled Alex Jones and stuff. So I probably blacklisted myself from like the core industry. But like my friends who are successful, they don't care because I don't act like Tommy Lauren and Ann Coulter. And some of the best and biggest hip hop producers, like the biggest, you know, production duo team out, they're giving me free beats because they love what I'm saying because of the way I'm saying it. I have friends that are, you know, more on the left side that are, you know, like they don't care because and if there were more people like me, or there were more people, even like Trump is a good matrix breaker. Like, he's doing him, but we need help. And I say these things and people are like, no, we don't. We need to just make the same mistakes that we've always made and be really unpopular with the youth and yell at you, even though you're the one who's connecting with the youth and you're like one of the only people who can, and we don't promote you. We just disagree with you. And it's like, okay, I guess if that's how you want to handle it. I just don't think it's a good idea. I actually know it's not a good idea. And hopefully, I'll read the comments now a little bit, and then someone said you're trying to blacklist yourself from your core fans. Here's the thing: if anything I just said blacklisted me from my core fans, you're not a core fan. Because if anything I just said bothers you, you are who I'm talking about. It's like the guy got mad at me for saying something on Twitter. I wasn't even talking to him. It's like it hits home. I guess the shoe fits. Like, I wasn't talking about you, and you're getting defensive about something I didn't say. Then you're the number one person, not you personally, but like, yeah, I'm not alienating myself from my core fans. I'm waking up maybe 25 to 30% of my viewer base that will probably turn on me when I tell them the truth that doesn't go in their favor. Because Republicans get played and used all the times too. You know, during the Bush era, George Bush was part of the cabal too, but he told people, we love the flag, we love Americans, we're patriots, let's go to war. And conservatives ate it up. They're like, yeah, for sure, we love this country. Like, you can get played too. Just because you have good intentions doesn't mean you can't get manipulated by Mitt Romney's and John McCain's and George Bush's. So I'm telling the truth, the all truth and nothing but the truth. Amen. If that's even what they say. Someone said, I'm a staunch conservative, and you're spot on. I don't really care that much. Obviously, I don't want to hurt people's feelings or lose people, but I don't care. If I cared about what people thought about what I said, I mean, I do actually care as far as like my delivery of it, but like, if I censored myself based on hurting other people's feelings about being true, I wouldn't be here. My entire success is based off of telling the blunt truth in a kind manner, what everybody thinks but nobody knows how or wants to say. It's how I've made my whole career. So I'm not stopping now just because I'm hurting people's feelings on my side. I get it. I don't care. Like, I'm sure my numbers will honestly still go up, but I don't care. I'm not going to lie to you. There's a bunch of, I'm telling you, Ann Coulter will tell you something. You could follow Tommy Lauren. You could follow some MAGA, accounts on Twitter, and I'm sure they'll lie to you and they'll tell you what you want to hear, and they'll have this echo chamber that only panders to you, and you could be their core fan, because I don't want core fans who can't handle the truth. And the truth is, Republicans and conservatives do an awful job at tech. They do an awful job in the music industry. They do an awful job in the entertainment industry. These are very influential industries. The tech companies hate you. They probably hate me. They don't want you to win. They have billions upon trillions of dollars worth of data on you. They have artificial intelligence algorithms. They're going to work day and night to make sure that you lose. And I'm trying to work day and night to make sure that you win. So if you can't handle my truth, it's not my fault. I don't know. I don't want to lose. I don't want this country to get lost. And that's how it's going to happen. It's going to happen with lack of self-accountability, responsibility, and making the same mistakes people have made for decades. And someone said, I'm conservative and you're speaking the truth. A lot of people agree, more than not. When I talk to a few people, people take it out. They're like, oh my God, anomalies. I'm not even remotely mad. And I know when I say that some people, it's a chunk. I'm not saying it's 100%. It might be 20 or 30%, but that still leaves me 600,000 people who agree with me, or maybe 20, 30, 40, 50 million, 100 million. And the silent majority is not just Trump. Obviously, the Trump supporters are the silent majority. But another silent majority are the people who don't vote, the people who don't tweet on Twitter, the people who come up to me and say, "Namli, I'm a huge fan. I never comment, though. I just watch." It's like there's a silent majority that didn't vote. Most of the country didn't vote, and they don't talk, but they're still in the balance. They don't know who to vote for because they don't really like Trump. They don't like the people who get mad at me all the time and say, "Anomaly, you're going to lose your core fans." They don't like Tommy, Lauren, and Ann Coulter. They don't like Fox News. They don't like any Republicans, really. But they don't like the Democrats. They don't like the social justice warriors. They don't like this safe space culture that's pathetic and toxic. So this is the real silent majority that I'm tapping into, and it's a winning strategy. And also, a lot of people who get mad at me, they reap the benefits of all the work I've done, and they've reaped the benefits of some of the biggest conservative movements of this era. I helped launch into existence, from Candace to the Walkaway movement, in full form. I'm sure they would have done work and stuff, but I literally took them from here and put them here. So if you don't like me, you can go watch Candace or Brandon or someone else, and you can thank me for that, because, if I didn't help with that, a lot of these people would not have gotten the waves they've gotten. So it's like, you can get mad at me, and you can go watch someone else if you want, but, I'm not hurting the movement. I'm not alienating my core people. I'm just letting you know, and I have no problem. Honestly, before I leave, I got to take off soon. I'll tell you some more unpopular things that no one wants to hear. This way, I'll alienate some more core fans. Conservatives nonstop lie about Louis Farrakhan. I'm not a #1 fan of Louis Farrakhan. I don't agree with everything he says. I disagree with his agenda quite much so. We're very different people, but conservatives lie about him all the time, and so many conservatives have done it that they actually believe themselves, even though they're lying. And if I say the truth, I get attacked by the hive mind, because they're like, we've collectively lied about this, and that's what the liberals do. Louis Farrakhan, and I'll tell you the 3 things that conservatives lie about with him. I'm just getting all my unpopular stuff out while people are mad. We'll see who can handle it. When Louis Farrakhan said that he's like Hitler, that's the big thing that conservatives always say. They say, Louis Farrakhan said, he's Hitler, he agrees with Hitler, Hitler was a good man. Listen to the whole speech if you want. I've listened to it on YouTube. So what he was saying was, he was getting media treatment like Trump, where they were trying to call him Hitler. This was in the 80s, before they called Trump Hitler. And instead of just saying, no, he did a pretty interesting flip on it. So what he said, if you watch the full clip, is he said, if you want to call me Hitler, fine, I'm Hitler. And then he explained the positives to Hitler. He didn't say that Hitler was a great person. He said Hitler was great for his people. He explained why he felt that way. He said he rose Germany from nothing, through the ashes. But then at the end of the clip, which no conservatives want to tell you about, what he said is, don't pin his evil on me. He said, I didn't kill a bunch of white people. I didn't kill a bunch of Jews. Hitler did that. He didn't co-sign the bad things that Hitler did. He said, you want to call me him, I'll take the good aspects of him, and I'll leave all the bad aspects to you white people, because you did that. I didn't do that. The white people did that. The Jews did that. So that's what Farrakhan said, and no conservatives tell the truth about it, and they think it makes them look smarter or cooler because they lie about that all the time. Another thing they lie about, he never called Jewish people termites. That's a total lie. He never said that. Oh, he said he wants to exterminate all the Jews. Farrakhan never said that. He said, I'm not anti-Semite, I'm anti-termite. He didn't say I'm anti-Semite. And he said he's anti-Semitic. No, he said literally in the quote, he said, I'm not an anti-Semite, I'm anti-termite. He's speaking on Jewish people that he feels are evil. And if you talk to Christians and you say, they'll say the liberals are evil, they're satanic. So if some liberals are Jews and you think all liberals are satanic, then you're saying that they're satanic Jews. But then when Farrakhan says it, you call him an anti-Semite, even though he specifically said, I'm not anti-Semitic, I'm anti-termite. He didn't say all Jews are termites. He said he feels that some of them are. It's like if I said I'm not anti-Catholic, I'm anti-cockroach, meaning I'm anti-rapist in the Catholic Church. I'm not condemning all Catholics. I'm saying that there's certain eggs in there. And he said this time and time again, he appreciates and respects good Jewish people. Overall, like I said, I don't have the same agenda as Farrakhan. He's part of the Nation of Islam. He's Islamic. I don't think he likes America very much. I don't think he likes white people very much. And people, Anomaly's anti-Semitic. No, I'm not. I just listen to reggae music in a Tesla with Roseanne before she went to Israel. So I'm not a very good anti-Semite when like some of my best friends are Jewish and they love my videos and they probably love everything I'm saying now. Literally, I went on a stream with Owen Benjamin, who talks about Jewish people the most, and a Jewish guy from Israel messaged me and wanted to do work with me out of Israel. So it's like Jewish people don't like to be lied to either. They like the truth as well. The truth is Louis Farrakhan never said all that stuff, so I'm just getting my unpopular opinions out of the way. I love my Jewish and Israeli brothers and sisters. I love my Christian and Catholic brothers and sisters, atheists and such. I don't discriminate based on race or religion at all. But if you want to, and the reason I'm saying this, there's an actual point to it besides just getting my unpopular things out of the way. The reason I'm saying this is because when you have someone like a Farrakhan or a Kristen Sinema or Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, it doesn't make you better. There's enough stuff going around out of their own mouths that you can counter and disagree with. Like if I had a debate or an interview with Louis Farrakhan, conservatives would try to ruin my life because I'd take a picture with them and I'd smile with them like I do with everyone. And then they'd say, oh my God, Anomaly has a picture with Farrakhan. So I'll take a picture with anyone. Like now the conservatives want to tell me who I can and can't take pictures with. Look, Obama has a picture with Farrakhan. So who cares? That's not the big scoop. The big scoop is Obama went to Libya and now there's slave trade and organ harvesting there. It's not that he took a picture with Farrakhan. Like conservatives harp on the dumbest things in their little hive mind echo chamber. And I don't care if this alienates me from people who make the same mistakes. That's not the big scoop. And the reason I'm saying this is because there's enough in what Farrakhan says to disagree with, and there's enough to debate in what he actually says. I can't stand when people take quotes out of context like they do with Trump, lie about what he said, accuse him of saying and feeling things that he's never said and felt, and then using that as the straw man argument to try to kick him off Twitter. And that's all the conservatives do. I'm the only one who's going to tell you this. That's why they'll probably never book me on Fox or anything, because I'm not a liar, and all of them are. I'm not saying they're lying about everything. We overlap on 80-90%, but that doesn't mean... And to be honest, I'd much rather listen to Farrakhan talk than I'd listen to a conservative talk about Farrakhan. Like, how dumb do they think I am? You know, like, I don't want to hear what someone who works for the Daily Wire thinks about Farrakhan. That's nice. Yeah, I get it. That's your interpretation of what he said, a false one, a dishonest one. I'd rather listen to him in full context. I actually thoroughly enjoy listening to Louis Farrakhan. I don't agree with him on a lot of things. His Islamic agenda is not my American agenda. We're total opposites. But a beautiful moment that happened was Farrakhan had an interview with Alex Jones. You have a Christian, libertarian, like patriot, conspiracy theorist in Alex Jones who loves Trump versus, Nation of Islam, black activists like Louis Farrakhan. It's one of the best interviews I've seen in a while. I mean, it's great. It's like they agree on a lot of things, and it shows what could happen if people came together. And I'll tell you what, another good interview is with Farrakhan and the 60 Minutes guy. I forget his name. Dude, Farrakhan makes him look like a fool. Farrakhan makes several valid points. The mainstream media guy made almost no good points and really just looked like a goofball. It's like, I don't have a problem with Farrakhan, to be honest. I get that his agenda's not mine. I get that he says things that people don't want to hear, but I think of him as like a black Islamic Trump. You know, he doesn't care. He's going to say it, whether you agree with it or not. Sometimes he's right, sometimes he's wrong. And he lived through the civil rights era. I mean, the dude is 88 or 82 or 86 or something. It's like, yeah, he's lived through racism. You know, Malcolm X got killed. Some people think he did it. Some people think he didn't. I don't know what happened, but it's like Martin Luther King Jr. got killed. He was friends with Gaddafi. Gaddafi got killed. How would you feel if you were an 86-year-old Islamic guy who all his friends got killed? You know, like, yeah, maybe he's not a huge fan of America at that point, even though he lives here. I don't know. I just don't think it's that crazy to listen to the guy talk. And it's just strange to me that people have to conflate what he says out of context. I don't know. Call me crazy, but I think you should attack his actual arguments. If I talked to Farrakhan, I would agree on some things. I would disagree on some things, but I would question him on what he actually said. And I don't like I said, the reason I'm saying this now is because the number one talking point of conservatives on Farrakhan is a lie. So it never makes you good. It never makes you look good when you lie. never makes you look good if you want to censor. And if you can't attack someone's actual argument and you have to misframe it just to compete, it just shows that you're on a lower level, as a lot of people are. A lot of these new conservatives can't light a candle to what Farrakhan's done. Farrakhan, I'd rather listen to him 9 times out of 10 than Ann Coulter or Tommy Lauren. I've listened to Farrakhan much more than I've listened to Tommy Lauren or Ann Coulter. I'll never listen to Ann Coulter. It's not, she's okay. I've listened to her and it's not, I'm not, even though me and Ann Coulter, maybe our agenda might line up more, I just don't like her. You know what I'm saying? She's annoying. And that's just how I feel. Maybe you love her, and I'm to each their own. I'm just saying, to wrap it up, I wanted to get all my unpopular opinions out of there so I could isolate or, get rid of people who don't want to hear it. But anyway, the reason I'm saying this is freedom of speech is important to me. Attacking someone's actual argument instead of misframing what they said, not talking about their clothes or their dance moves or their this or that. It's like, it's not a good strategy. And if you really want to help Trump win in 2020, it's going to take a lot of help and a lot of people that do smart things instead of like hive mind, just attack people who try to tell them the truth, because it's not my thing. Thank you, God. Wait, hold on. I'm trying to read something. Someone said, I just want to read some funny comments before I leave. Someone said, I hope whatever they paid you is worth it. Even Ann Coulter won't stone a gay person. See, you're doing exactly, I'm just going to read some because I enjoy it. You're doing exactly what I'm talking about. Like, it's so funny because I'm like a Trump where, like, I tell the truth and then people reveal themselves to me. That's what I love about Trump. He just tells the truth and people reveal themselves. I never said that I was pro-Islam. I never said that I was okay with stoning gay people. I never hinted that Ann Coulter did or didn't stone a gay person. So you can't actually hang with my argument logically or factually or realistically. So you have to make a straw man argument that I never said or agreed with. I'm not a huge fan of Islam, to be honest. I think it's a religion that is should be questioned, and we should consider what it's doing in the world. I'm not even Islamic myself. So just because I listened to Farrakhan and I told you that conservatives were lying about it, in order to try to make me look bad, you just made up a whole other argument that literally misframes what I said out of context to make yourself feel better. That's exactly what I'm talking about with Farrakhan, with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. I never said anything about stoning gay people. I have several podcasts, including one with a Pakistani immigrant who likes Trump, and we've talked about stuff. I've talked about what they do in Islamic countries as far as how it doesn't correlate to liberal ideology. So you can't tell the truth to yourself, so you have to lie about what I said. So it's that. Thank you. I appreciate you for being and showing me exactly what I'm talking about. Someone said you enjoy listening to him. Yeah, I did say that. That's exactly what I said. So what does that have to do with what you just said? I do enjoy listening to him. I'll stay for like 5-10 more minutes. Hold on. Check. Yeah, so I enjoy listening to him. Tell me how that correlates to Islamic people stoning gay people and Ann Coulter not stoning gay people. Let me know. I'll give you 2 minutes, 3 minutes. We'll have a back and forth. I enjoy listening to a lot of people. Is that okay with you? Because it seems like liberals don't want me to enjoy speaking to Trump or listening to Trump. Liberals don't want me to enjoy. I enjoy listening to people that I don't agree with all the time. Is that okay with you? Am I allowed to enjoy my life, or are you the fun police? Oh, well, Anomaly enjoys listening to Farrakhan, so that's we gotta, because I hate it. Well, guess what? I don't hate a lot of things. That's why I love my life and enjoy my life. And most people are miserable. They work 9 to 5s. They run in circles. They hate themselves. They hate their family. They hate their wives. They hate their kids. They're mad at everybody. They don't treat anybody with respect. That's why if you see me in public, I'm holding a door open for somebody, or I'm chatting up with the barista, trying to make them have a better day, because I love my life. Because I enjoy listening to Farrakhan, and I enjoy listening to Trump, and I enjoy listening to Owen Benjamin, and I enjoy listening to Alex Jones. I enjoyed listening to Kamala Harris today. I didn't agree with her, but I enjoyed it. I'm sorry, is my enjoyment bothersome to you? Do you want to collaborate with the left wing and put an enjoyment tax on me? Tax me 10% because I'm happy and you're not? I mean, get a grip. What does that have to do with anything? Can I not enjoy myself? Are you the police of what I can and can't enjoy? Is that supposed to be a core fan? Anyone else? I got a minute or two. Thank you, David. I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you, Caroline. I appreciate it. No, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not hating on Ann Coulter. Like some people love Ann. I've met people in person, like Jesse Lee Peterson. He's like, I love Ann Coulter. I'm just not a fan. I'm not hating on people who hate. I'm not saying you can't enjoy Ann Coulter. I'm just saying, one, I'm not a fan. Two, she's not the most effective person as far as when it comes to, always being scapegoated as the person not to look like. I'm just saying her strategy is not the greatest red pilling strategy. I hope people do enjoy Ann Coulter. I'm sure there's 200 people here that love her, and that's great. I would never tell you not to enjoy listening to her. But there's wisdom and knowledge in everything. And I was going to share a Farrakhan quote on Instagram, but I'm afraid everyone's going to freak out. He actually supports Trump sometimes. I think Farrakhan low-key likes Trump. He just won't say it. But, he said, Trump is getting rid of all my worst enemies. He's like the media, the justice system. Like Farrakhan will throw Trump bones more than, to me, I think Farrakhan is more honest than MSNBC and CNN combined. So it's like, if Jake Tapper tells the truth, I share Jake Tapper. Do I love Anderson Cooper and Chris Cuomo? No, but if they tell the truth, I'll share it. Just like Farrakhan, he doesn't just lie and hate on people. Like, if you listen to him, he's kind of like Trump. He gets passionate sometimes, but he's pretty calm and he's very wise. I don't know. Certain parts I'm like, I don't know about all that, but I like to see. He said that Trump should vet refugees. He said Trump would be wise to vet refugees because there's a lot of people in the Islamic world that don't like America. So who would I rather listen to? Louis Farrakhan, who says that we should vet refugees because it's the right thing to do? Or MSNBC, who's a bunch of hipster white kids who've never been out of the country who say, no, it's so racist to vet refugees. Let's bring them here. I'm sorry that bothers you, that I think Farrakhan's right there, because he is right there. Unless now Trump supporters disagree with Trump, I don't know. I shared that clip on World Cloud sometimes. Everyone's like, I hate Farrakhan, but I agree with this. It's like, what are you gonna be like a left winger and say you don't like water because he likes it? Ariel said, no such thing as an honest Muslim dude. Sorry. I feel sorry for you, brother. I really do. I feel like there's got to be no disrespect, but if you truly believe in your heart and your soul that there's no honest Muslim person in the world, I feel awful for you. And I feel like it's a sad life. That's a sad, cold life to live if you feel that way. I'm all for critiquing. I'm all for calling out the reality of the Islamic world. But if you truly believe yourself, if you could look yourself in the mirror, look in your own eyes and say, there's not one honest Muslim person in the world, and you believe yourself, I feel sorry for you. Because that's obviously not true. All right, well, that was fun enough. Have a good day, guys. God bless you. God bless America. God bless your family, and God bless the world. Just further proof, and the discussion that needed to be had, that maybe people didn't want to have. It's great to like Trump. It's great to appreciate the economy. It's great to call out other religions. It's great to tell the truth about the Middle East and such. But just further proof that there's right-wing people who think that they're above honesty, truth, self-accountability, self-responsibility, and who use their position as a means to make themselves feel better about themselves rather than actually really do something. It's like, I believe this, so I must be so much better than everyone else. I don't know. It's not my vibe. So, feel free to unfollow me if that's how you feel. God bless you guys. Thank you for listening and joining. Appreciate you as always. I'll be back tomorrow or later this week. I don't know. I'm kind of annoyed. I'm not going to lie. It's like the internet. I just see it's like, oh, this is why history repeats itself. Oh, this is why the Republicans never control power for that long. Oh, this is why it always bounces back. And everyone's going to blame me when it happens. And it's like, well, you guys made the same mistakes. It's like human nature's just run on a hamster wheel. That's why I enjoy my life and I don't call myself a Republican or conservative. I'm not responsible for all the lies and hate that you guys spread. I stand up for everyone. I say that you don't just spread hate and fear. That's a total lie. And the left seems to be more hateful. But it's like, just because you like Trump doesn't mean you're above, like, you know, math and science and psychology and basic laws of human nature. But some people think they are. So, you know, if that's the case, and if enough people feel that way, don't want to listen to basic truths, then, you know, you'll reap what you sow. Have a good one, guys.